Good evening, everyone. I'm Deon Guillory. Right now, it's day one of those forced spending cuts. News 3's Dave Beichnish met with the teen's family, and Dave, they are desperate to get their little girl back home. Wide-ranging gun control proposals kicked off here in Virginia. Cold, hard snow means cold, hard cash. Rockingham County Sheriff's deputies arrest a woman in connection with a stabbing. News 3's Stephanie Escobar is here to talk about this. And Stephanie, you talked to a lot of people about this, and most of them aren't happy. Breaking news tonight, fire crews have been working for hours to put out a transformer fire. We just got word that some state lawmakers believe this bill is dead on arrival. Guns like this 9mm are some of the most popular, and its magazine that comes with it is constantly sold out. Hey, that intersection's been closed for nearly 10 hours now. All of these stores are hoping that people pull out the plastic and even some cash. It's this newsletter that has some people outside of the Tea Party upset. You guys at home, don't be alarmed. I'm wearing these sunglasses for a purpose. So with speed being a concern in this neighborhood, we decided to come right back here, the scene of the accident, with a speed gun.
Right now on WHSV News 3.
My little girl, she went to her bedroom, to wake her up, and then she wasn't there.
Girl gone, the family of a missing teen pleading tonight for her to come back home. Stabbing suspect, deputies arrest a woman in connection with a stabbing in a gated community near Massanutten Resort. Her charges and where the victim is tonight.
I thought I could hear him screaming for me and holler for me to help him. I couldn't do nothing.
Sinkhole sorrow. Crews begin to tear down a home as family remember the man swallowed underground. The news at 6:30 starts right now.
This is WHSV News 3 at 6.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Deon Guillory. Tonight, we continue to follow a developing story. A 16-year-old Augusta County girl is still missing, and we first brought you this story as breaking news last night. Her name is Jennifer Carolina Romero. You see her in this picture right here. She was originally thought to have been in Arlington with a man she met online. WHSV News 3's Dave Beichnish met with the teen's family, and Dave, they are desperate to get their little girl back home. We have new details tonight on another story we first told you about as breaking news last night at 11. Rockingham County Sheriff's deputies arrest a woman in connection with a stabbing. Take a look at this picture of the suspect. The sheriff just sent us this mugshot of 26-year-old Camille Brown, and she is originally from Baltimore. Brown's accused of stabbing a man last night in the Regal Vistas gated community that's near Massanutten Resort in McGaheysville. The sheriff tells us this is a family fight. The man she stabbed is at UVA Medical Center. Brown is charged with assault. More charges could be added. There are still delays tonight on Interstate 81 in Augusta County. This hours after a tractor trailer carrying 78,000 pounds of cheese overturned this morning, and the driver saying he lost control after popping a tire. It happened at mile marker 216 northbound right before the Greenville exit. Take a look at crews on the scene there. Someone stopped to pull the driver out, but a passenger was trapped in the sleeper cab. Fire and rescue crews from Riverheads and Augusta County worked for nearly an hour to free her, using a saw to cut their way inside. Crew members say it wasn't easy.
Anytime you have a large vehicle like this, it's difficult to extricate somebody, especially when they're in the back of the vehicle. And with it being upside down, it does create some challenges that you have to overcome when trying to gain access to them.
Both the driver and passenger got out with a couple of scratches. The driver faces a couple of charges tonight, including reckless driving. Right now, Harrisonburg police investigating an accident that has a driver spending the night in a hospital. It happened in the 800 block of Stone Spring Road. We're going to show you exactly where that is on this map. Police say the crash was between a car and a moped. The moped's driver is now at UVA Medical Center in critical condition. Police are not releasing any names at this time because of its investigation. No charges have been filed. We're going to turn things now to the weather. Meteorologist Amelia Namias is here with me right now. And Amelia, it was kind of a fake out today. The sun was out, but if you still walked outside, that wind hits you in the face. Firefighters know how to handle cats stuck in trees, but what about a raccoon stuck in a can? It's not your everyday emergency. Take a look at this. Dropped off outside their fire station, this guy, a raccoon in a box, his head stuck in a can. Attached to the wild animal, a note reading, quote, "Please help, I was in the dumpster and got a soup can stuck on my head. It won't come off, please help me." It was signed, "Thank you, Rock."
We opened up the bag, I put my gloves on and coat on. I went and got a pair of tin snips, made a couple cuts, and he wasn't very happy about it.
Would you be happy about that? After more than a minute, the raccoon snipped free. Look at him. And, you know, obviously before you could even notice, he just ran off under that car on the way to his next place of mischief. And guess what? It's still a mystery as to who left that note.
I thought he left the note.
No, someone.
He had
Why
great
am I
handwriting.
going to try to explain it?
He had great handwriting for a raccoon, let me tell you.
And very articulate. Melanie, I uncovered that this scam has been making its way across the country for the last year and a half. It's coming from someone with a Las Vegas number, but they gambled on the wrong woman.
Hello?
That's how an unusual phone call started Wednesday morning for Reba Simmons. She says a woman called her about a new Medicare card, asking to verify her address and her bank account number.
Gave me 9 numbers and said, now you finish them. And I told her I wasn't giving anybody my number over the telephone.
Simmons says the woman tried to convince her to do it.
I told her, have a nice day, and hung up.
Simmons has caller ID and jotted down the number, so I decided to call it. So there you have it. There's a busy signals, no one's picking up, and so the number is not good. An internet search of the number shows that it is from Henderson, Nevada, a suburb of Las Vegas. And several websites like this one have comments from people who got the same call as Reba Simmons.
It makes me angry.
People target older adults because they see them as a more vulnerable population.
Beth Bland says this isn't unusual. She works to help seniors avoid scams. Simmons is trying to do the same.
I just want everybody to know that it is happening.
So you won't roll the dice and have nothing left in your bank account.
I am in favor of it. I am, highly.
That's Brian Hill's reaction to finding out that Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. may get a street named after him in the city. One of the streets being proposed for this is Reservoir Street, which you can see behind me. It runs through the Northeast neighborhood right into the city, and as you can see, it's one of Harrisonburg's busiest roads. So does Vine Street, which you can see behind me here. It's on the short list of names, but this one has a historic reason.
Vine Street is close enough to the area, which was an area that was founded by ex-slaves.
Stan Macklin is the man spearheading this campaign, explaining why his dream should happen now.
His principles of nonviolence and peacemaking, it's needed in a time such as this.
The city council is excited about it. Council member Abe Shearer says there are some challenges. The group has to look at how the streets will affect neighbors. There will also have to be address changes, and the council has to look at how much it will cost to make it all happen. Hill has his own suggestion.
Put it right out here, part of 11 South, cut it off, turn it right into Martin Luther King Drive, right in the heart of downtown, right here, because this is where everybody is at all the time.
John, the road is clear right now. You can see that it is also wet, but this cold, hard snow means cold, hard cash for tow truck drivers, and they're the group that's ready for you if you take the wrong turn.
It's been crazy. I believe this makes number 17 for us today.
That's more than double an average day for David Phelps. He's a tow truck driver at Keys Towing in Bridgewater. The big number due to the snow.
It's supposed to be a vehicle down over an embankment.
Phelps has been a tow truck driver for 3 years. This JMU grad says it's the challenge of not knowing what's next that keeps him going. But he tells me there is also a dark side.
You've always seen, fatalities and that kind of deal. Towing sometimes isn't so pretty.
After a short ride,
we'll sit right here.
We get to call number 17. The driver of this Pontiac lost control and ended up stuck in a ditch. David gets to work.
I'm gonna go ahead and start hooking it up while we're waiting on the wrecker.
With his chains, he hooks them onto the car, getting down into the snow and even the water in the ditch.
It is definitely a dirty job. Cold and wet too.
David has a strategy to get the car out.
Get them out the same way they went in.
The wrecker arrives and now it's time to pull the car out of the ditch. Once that happens, the car is then put on the flatbed truck and taken to the Keys towing lot.
Oh, that went pretty well.
The car is put in the lot. David waits for call number 18.
You gotta be real careful out here, that's for sure.
Now, David says he believes that the calls will come in again overnight because once this snow freezes up, the roads are going to be very slippery.